Today, we're cracking open an ancient military playbook to solve a very, very modern problem. We're going to apply a 500-year-old samurai strategy to the wild, chaotic, brilliant world of artificial intelligence. We're talking about the Fūrinkazan operating system.
Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. A 16th-century warlord and AI scaling? How on earth do those two things connect? But trust me, the strategies of Takeda Shingen, one of Japan's most legendary tacticians, give us an absolutely profound blueprint for innovation today. The challenges he was up against, unpredictable enemies, constantly shifting battlefields, the need for insane speed, are pretty much the exact same challenges AI startups are facing right now.
So, to really get Shingen's genius, we first have to talk about something he didn't do. See, back then, power meant building massive stone fortresses. But Shingen, known as the Tiger of Kai, never built a personal castle. He saw them as expensive, slow, and worst of all, a trap. They were a static liability in a world that was constantly moving. His real strength wasn't in stone, it was in speed and flexibility.
And this right here perfectly illustrates the big debate in how we build things. The castle, that's the old school predictive model. You might know it as waterfall. It's rigid. You plan everything up front, and once you start building, you're pretty much locked in. But Shingen's cavalry, well, that's the adaptive, agile model. It's built for speed, for flexibility, for reacting to what's actually happening on the ground, not some plan you drew up 6 months ago. This mindset is the very heart of his system.
And that system has a name, Fūrinkazan. This was the philosophy he had emblazoned on his battle flags, and it's a direct quote from Sun Tzu's The Art of War. It translates to wind, forest, fire, and mountain. And this is way more than just a cool motto. It's a complete 4-phase strategy for how you operate, how you innovate, and ultimately, how you win.
Let's dive into the first element, Fu, or wind. The principle here is simple, pure, unfiltered speed. Shingen's cavalry was legendary for moving so fast they could strike before enemy scouts even had a chance to sound the alarm. In the world of AI today, that kind of speed isn't just a nice-to-have, it's literally a condition for survival. So in our world, wind is the agile sprint. You break all your work down into these short, super-focused cycles or iterations, like you see here. They usually last just 1 to 4 weeks. And each and every sprint is a mini project all on its own. You plan it, you build it, you test it, and you show it off. The whole goal is to cycle through this loop as fast as humanly possible, over and over again.
Now, the really crucial thing to get here is that this speed isn't about being reckless. It's about delivering actual value. Like the Agile Manifesto says, working software is the primary measure of progress. That's the whole point. Every single sprint has to end with something tangible, something that actually works and that you can show to people. It's all about building momentum and learning faster than everyone else.
All right, so after the rush of the wind comes the total opposite, silence, Rin, the forest. Shingen's forces could seemingly just vanish, moving like ghosts through the landscape, to gather intel and prepare their next move without anyone knowing they were there. For a startup, this is your stealth phase. This is where your small, self-organizing teams are absolutely essential. Think of them like a scouting party deep in that forest. These teams are packed with different kinds of experts, and they work together quietly and effectively. Their mission is to fly under the radar, figure out what customers really want, and build a defensible advantage, like a data moat or a unique architecture, before the competition even realizes a new player is in the game.
Okay, so you've been swift like the wind, you've been quiet as the forest. You have a proven product, and your foundation is solid. Now the entire strategy flips. It's time for Ka, fire. When Shingen's army finally attacked, it was with overwhelming, all-consuming force. The goal wasn't just to win a battle, it was to dominate the field, instantly and decisively.
The modern-day version of this is called Blitzscaling, and this chart just shows you how incredibly powerful it is. This is where a startup intentionally and aggressively spends money to grab massive market share almost overnight. I mean, look at the difference here. We go from months to capture a market down to just a few weeks. The idea is to become the industry standard so fast that your rivals are left in the dust.
But this fire has to be aimed. A wildfire is just chaos. A controlled burn is a powerful tool. And that's exactly why this agile principle, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, is so vital. By staying in constant communication with your users, you ensure that this massive, aggressive push is aimed right at what the market actually wants. It stops you from burning through all of your resources on the wrong target.
And at last we come to the fourth and final element, Zan, the mountain. Wind, forest, fire, all that speed, stealth, and aggression, it all counts for nothing if your army falls apart under pressure. Shingen's defensive lines were famous because they were unshakable. This is the bedrock of stability that makes everything else work.
In the software world, the single greatest threat to stability is something called technical debt. It is the silent killer of so many fast-moving projects. Every little shortcut you take, every we'll-fix-it-later solution you put in place to keep moving fast, it all adds to this debt. And eventually, that debt comes due, usually in the form of a catastrophic system failure.
So, how do you build your mountain? Through disciplined, agile engineering practices. We're talking about things like continuous integration, automated testing, constantly cleaning up your code through refactoring. This stuff isn't about slowing down. It's about building a foundation so strong that it allows you to keep moving at high speed, sustainably, without the whole thing collapsing under its own weight.
So there you have it. Wind, forest, fire, and mountain. A complete system for innovation. But there's one last piece. The core philosophy that holds it all together. It's what Shingen believed was his true, unbeatable advantage. He famously said, "People are the castle, people are the walls, people are the moat." His ultimate defense, his greatest weapon, wasn't a tactic, it wasn't a technology. It was the loyalty, the talent, and the drive of his people.
Now check this out. Almost 500 years later, a group of software developers created the Agile Manifesto. And what was the very first, most important value they wrote down? Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. It is the exact same philosophy. It's this realization that no process, no tool, no piece of software is more important than a team of talented, motivated people working together.
And that really brings us to the final critical question for all of us. In a world where AI can write code, analyze data, and automate whole industries, software is no longer the defensible wall it used to be. Processes and tools are becoming commodities. So in this new era, what is your castle? What is your unbreachable defense? The answer, from a samurai centuries ago, might just be the most important strategic insight for our future.